Hello and welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that bit of footage there. We are going to have a look at the Princess R.053 from about 1974 in a moment, but let's just see if we can uncouple this high mech, the one that was causing us a bit of trouble last week over the point work. I have had a fiddle with the wheel spacing on it. Sorry, not wheel spacing, back to back. Let's see if we can move her forward and uncouple. There we go. So that's on half wave, and you can get a really nice slow move on that. Let's give that back onto a normal full wave there, and let's see it's much more energetic. Let's just have a look at that over the point work there. So as you can see, that's much smoother, isn't it? It kept jumping off at that point down there. So we have got a stall there in this instance, so let's give it a bit of a nudge. You do get the stall from time to time. So perhaps a little bit more track cleaning needed there, so let's take that one back out there again. We'll get her to the diesel refuelling area, but firstly let's have a quick look at this great uncoupling device sent to me by Rob from Handmade Accessories. I think they're in Tasmania. I'll leave their contact info in the description box below, so you can see that's quite useful. It's a very steep angle we've got set on there, and there's two in the packet, and the guidance on the packet says you can set them at two different angles, and obviously the steep angle there is really useful for going in between, getting in between the rolling stock and stuff. So with the steep angle, you really get in there. It's quite useful for especially uncoupling things at the station. The older Triang one is quite a relaxed angle there, so you need quite a lot of space to use it. So I've set the other one up just like that. So it does give these instructions here on how to do it. You do have to glue it together. It only takes a few minutes. It's pretty good. So I've been having fun with those over the last couple of evenings. So I'll leave the contact info in those, and we'll try and put them to good use throughout the video, perhaps, when we get the chance. So we want to put this high mech back into the refueling area, and then we'll have a quick look at the Princess. So let's change points number 2B. So I hope you enjoyed that bit of footage there. It's just something I was playing with earlier in the week. It's all good fun. So we'll set that. We'll bring the high mech back through the point work now. Yeah, and that green Class 47 is such a lovely model to run around the layout. Absolutely effortless. Makes a lovely purr. So having great fun charging around with that. I'm getting sidetracked again. So we'll open number 1, and we want number 2. Yeah, and I think we've got a clear path into the refueling area there. So let's change direction on that. And there she goes. I think she'll be nice and safe there. So there is the Princess sitting in deep shadow at the moment. So we'll have a closer look over the model in a little while. So let's get the 264 out onto the rails and see if we can pick up those mineral wagons. So we just need to fiddle with some points again. So number 3R, and then we need 2R as well. So, and then we need to rotate the turntable, I think that direction, yeah. Ooh, there we go. So let's see if we've, I'm not sure that alignment's quite as encouraging as it could be. Let's go back the other way and back round. Let's give that a go. It's not always perfect, so we want to roll forwards with that. There we go, and then we want to go clockwise. So that's a bit more power there. Nice noisy motor echoing in that housing back there by the water crane. That sunlight is absolutely terrific this morning. So I think I said we're on the 16th of July. It's very early morning. I'm going to go out to work in a couple of hours. So getting a few things done before the rest of the day starts. So let's flip that. So it's quite often nice to get up early and take advantage of the light. Whoops, that was a bit jumpy on that point work. I think we're, let's have an investigation. I think we're all safe there. Yeah, she looks good. So this model's from the early 80s. There is an LMS variant of it, which I'm still on the lookout for. Let's calm that down and see if we can see that and collect the wagons there. Change direction. Let's have a quick look over the top there. The contrast levels are far too high for this telephone, I think. Yeah, there we go. I think we're all in good shape there. So we'll pull that lot out of the siding. So let's see if we can see it emerge from under the elevated section. A little bit of wheel slip there. It's pulling those around that first radius curve under the elevated section there. I think one of those wagons was misbehaving there. Maybe it jumped as we reversed into the rake there. So but I think it's just popped back on again. So I think if we just pause there, and we'll open up the elevated section. So that'll let us back onto the outside line, and that opens up the 3G just in front of it. There we go. So let's see if she'll move away off that point work now. A little bit of wheel spin in there, wasn't there? There's that wagon, it's that one there. It's that one. Keeps jumping the rails. I just caught it on the corner of my eye. So let's we'll keep an eye on that as things progress. So that's come up there quite nicely. If I step back, and she's going to go into the sunny area. We'll calm that down. And we've got a squeak in there somewhere. Yeah, it's quite a pronounced squeak, isn't it? Whoops. Nice hard stop there as the power drops out. It sounds like it's coming from the back there somewhere. So let's just have a quick look and see if she'll push those back up the hill a little. So change direction. A little wheel slip, but now she's got some traction. She does have the magnadhesion. I think we get the general idea there. So let's drop that back down again. Just have a quick look at the box. We've got this quite a thin card box. It's got a little bit of damage on it here and there. It's been squashed, I think, and there's a slight tear in it there. So Hornby Railways box. As I say, I think this is a mail order only version, and it was used in some mail order sets as well. So R.053, we just have a paper label on the end of the carton there. So we've got a sellotape. Let's have a swift look on the underside. So it's just plain card, and you can see where it's had a significant squash there, and you've got a number stamped into the card. Let's see if we can get some focus on that. I'm not sure what the number represents. I think that's 00276. And again, we've got some sort of spillages or something there. So let's just lift off the lid and have a swift look at the inside. So sadly, no paperwork with this one. Let's have a quick look in there. So you can see that's just a card, plain card on the inside, and then we've got that yellow insert tray. Now I thought this was one of the models I had that was missing its smoke unit, but I don't think it ever had smoke in it. I was mistaken thinking that this should have had the smoke. And we've got that bright red nameplate there, Princess Victoria. And we can see very simplified or very simple valves or connection rods. Not plated wheels, so I think it was definitely a budget model, because they were definitely had models with plated wheels by 1974. I think there was a black variant as well in a very similar basic form. You can see in an earlier video, if you have a quick look at the insert picture there, that does have the exhaust steam sound in the tender, but in my black variant's in a wrong box. It's in an identical box to this, so it's been rehoused at some point, and it's got some numbering on the end of the box there. So we'll just see if we can pinch out the tender and have a quick look. So if we can pop that down. I might have to cut away from this. Yeah, I've got it. So we'll just pop the locomotive down, and we'll have a quick look at the tender. So it's quite shiny, and you've got that great big line over the wheel there. You can see the plastic work there. I don't know whether that's where it's come off the mould. It's quite crude and unfinished. Let's get that a bit closer. I don't think that's damage from a later date. It looks more like damage from the time it was put together, I think. So you've got nice detail on the inside of it there. And again, you can see that it's almost like it's been pulled off the sprue or the mould or something like that. The weight is loose on the inside. When we have a look at the locomotive, the chassis, you'll see somebody's done some extensive fiddling on the inside. I was wondering whether perhaps it's had a 01 chip in it. So it's got the open axle boxes and the sleeved wheels, but they are spoked. And we've got a crosshead screw holding the coupling into the plastic chassis of the tender there. So the coal load is separate. It does tend to fall out at some times, but I don't think it'll probably come out when I want it to. No, it tends to drop out at an inopportune moment. So we'll just pop that one back down, and we'll see if we can pinch out the locomotive and have a quick look. Let's see if I can get this box out of the way there. So I must get around to some more lighting in here, since the other work lamp has sort of expired. I haven't bothered to source any more bulbs for it, because I had intended to go to LED floods in here to get to increase the light levels. So let's have a quick look over this. So I don't think we'll be able to see the cab detail. If we can't, I'll try and get a photograph of it to put in the corner of the screen there. But again, lovely and shiny. It really is quite beautiful, isn't it? Very basic model. Although the Princess was. See, it's got the screw through the moulding there into the chassis. And let's see if we have a swift look down the other side of it. So I think there's a tiny nick out of the printing of the lining there. Very, very basic lining. Let's see if we can have a swift look on the underside of it there. So plastic wheels on the front bogie there. So models by this time were getting plated wheels, but this one doesn't. It's definitely from the budget range, I think, and The connection rods are in fairly good shape. There's a little bit of wear to them, so it's done some work around the track, this. Let's just have a quick look at the body moulding here. You can see it's in quite tidy condition. If we have a look there, we've got Hornby's name rather than Trying Hornby there, made in England. And then we've got R.050, which I think was the number of the black variant of this model. So this one looks to have been moulded in green plastic and had various parts painted in black. So let's have a look around there again. Again, I don't think we're going to get... oh, there we go. We've got detail in there, so it's all fairly basic. I'll try and get a snap to put in there so you can see that. And you can see where the securing screw goes through there into the chassis. So we'll just pop this one down and we'll have a look at the chassis. So I think that possibly there's been a 01 chip in there. If you look at the insert picture, you see the chassis had some sort of sticky tabs at the front. I don't know whether it would have been mounted there. And then let's just have a look at the chassis there. Now, as it works, I haven't bothered to sort of turn the wiring back to original, but somebody's taken the effort to solder to the brushes on one side and the normal connection tab from the brown wire down to the collection plate on the other side. So it does work quite well. And you see I've removed the little sticky tabs there, but I think a 01 chip may well have been able to sit happily in there. So there's plenty of life left on those brushes. It's fairly tidy condition. So it's got a brass worm in it, and the drive gear is definitely plastic on that centre. There you can see not really any wear on it. It hasn't worn badly. And the rear pony here or truck has got closed axle boxes. So most of my other princesses have all got open axle boxes. So that's quite an interesting feature. So I thought we'd just have a look at it running quite slowly on the rails instead of the rolling road for a change. So this is on halfway. We'll give it a little power, see if it'll roll it forward there. Hear a slight hum from the motor. And then I'll reverse the direction. So I'm not sure it will negotiate the points at this speed. I think it'll probably stall. But you can see a fair bit of jerkiness in the motor there, can't you? But still quite impressive. So let me flick that onto full wave. We'll change the direction and see if I can keep up with it. It'll probably charge out of frame quite rapidly. We'll see what I can do. And then I think we'll reverse the direction and have one more go. So here we are on the following morning. So we're the 17th of July now. So I'm just bringing this mineral train back onto the inside line. We'll have a go at backing it through the points and see if that set of wagons will behave itself. I forgot to mention on the earlier part of the video that I decided to run this 264 tank locomotive in the mineral wagons because Dave Atkins had mentioned he'd quite like to see it pull these over the elevated section. So we've given that a go and it seems to be fairly successful. So we've got the whole train there. So I'm considering putting this group of models away now because they've been on the layout for quite some time. We'll see if we can back those through the points, and we'll just stand them on that siding. This one here. I'm pointing at the correct one. This one. So when you're looking from far away, it's difficult to tell which one's which. So this is the one that runs underneath the elevated section there behind the high mac. Under there, so we'll do that in a second. So editing through that last section of video, when we were looking at the Green Princess, So let's have a quick look. I know we keep saying we're going to have a look at it run, but the video sort of turned into a different order. So I was thinking that this one should have had an exhaust steam sound in the tender, and I kept talking about a smoke unit. I don't think it ever had a smoke unit, and I'm mistaking exhaust steam sound for smoke unit. But I think from what I'm looking at that this model never did have a smoke exhaust steam sound in it. See, I'm getting confused again, and it is still really early in the day. Whilst it's got the provision for it, I don't think it was ever sold with it, from what I understand. So we'll pop that back on. But the black variant R.050, which did appear in the main catalogue, rather than just produced for the catalogue houses, like the green one, I think, did have exhaust steam sound, and my model, as it turns out, doesn't have the exhaust steam sound, so that's the one that's missing. So we must get the black variant out as well at some point, but that's a video for another day, I think. So here's the black one that did show up in the 74 catalogue, R.050, Class 8P, locomotive and tender, Princess Victoria with magnet adhesion and exhaust steam sound. So I keep confusing exhaust steam sound with smoke units. Of course, sometimes models did have exhaust steam sound and a smoke unit, but from what I think, they should just have exhaust steam sound in there. I think the red version, the Princess Royal, that had exhaust steam sound and a smoke unit, a smoke generator in there, so we should get that model out, but that's a much more sophisticated looking model, shall we say. It's definitely got the plated wheels and full valve gear and so on. Very, very pretty. So we'll put the 74 catalogue away, I think. Actually, no, we'll just have a look at one set in here, because this Black Princess was also used there in this set. So quite a smart looking group of models. So we've got the earlier red and cream coaches, or blood and custard style coaches, and there we've got that little basic set there. So I think this is the last time the Princess Loco was used in this form in the Hornby Railways catalogue. We've got the express passenger set R.053 there. So we'll pop the catalogue away, and let's see if we can get this set of mineral wagons through into the sidings, and then we'll get the Princess out on the rails, which is what we've been trying to do all along, I think. But this is just playing with the trains, really. So we'll change the direction, and then let's see if we can back this through. Actually, I should use the other controller here. That was a jump into life, wasn't it? There we go. So let's use the decoupler here, and let's see if we can separate the locomotive and the models. So I don't know whether I can get that in under there. There we go. So we should be able to just drive her forward and separate. So let's change the direction. Actually, I'll just hold that a little closer. There we go. I think we'll leave her there, because I am going to take all of these off the layout, I think. So we'll pop that down for later use. And we want to close 2R. And then we need to rotate the turntable and just swap hands on the camera. So we should be able to bring the Princess forward now onto the turntable. And we actually want it facing the other way around, so I think what we'll do is we'll go all the way around so we can back off. We can have a quick look at the model as she goes around. And the sunlight hasn't quite broken through the window yet, but I think it's going to quite shortly. Almost there. And there we have it. So we should be able to just back her gently off the turntable now. Lovely sound. I have to say it sounds like a proper Triang model. So let's close number 1 and let's roll her through. So we won't want to get into the station there and pick these coaches up on what we're calling platform number 5, and you see it on the ends. I should have put that numbering closer to the controllers because it's just sort of so far away and I can never remember. So we now want to roll the other direction. So we should be clear through the points there. There we go. So we want to switch number 2B. And then we want to be 3B, which will take us into the correct platform at the station. That's right next to the signal box there. And then we need to reverse the direction again. Let's see if we can have a gentle coupling. I think we have those. So offhand I can't remember the numbers of those coaches, but these are sort of late 70s, so that new regional style of coaches. So they're fairly smart looking things. They've got silver seal wheels. We'll ease her out onto the main line. And then we should just switch 1B so we have the entire. It doesn't sound reassuring at all. I'm not doing something funny with the switch there. Let's have a look. Yes, this point's playing up again. Let's see if we can. Yeah, it was part way to that little lever there, jumping off, and it does from time to time. I end up super gluing it back in. I know somebody suggested I use a plastic weld type thing, but I haven't got around to trying that. And what I should do is perhaps take it out. Maybe we'll try some plastic weld if I get around to getting some. I'm not exactly sure which product that is. There we go. So let's tighten this up and see if we can follow her around and get some interesting views of the model on the go. So that sunlight is beginning to come through the window. Let's have a quick glance at that. It's just coming around the corners of the building there. Very bright. It's going to be another lovely day. Very colourful coming along there, isn't it, with those wheel-loaded wagons. Right off into the distance again. Let's see if we can come around here. Lord of the Isles sitting there with those lovely little four-wheel coaches. I'm just going to flip this camera around. It might look a bit violent in view, so excuse me for a second. Then I can get a little closer to it. Just we need to remember to lift up before we bump into the station or anything like that. There she goes. She's going to disappear behind the station again. Let's see if we can view it through the station canopies and things. And there she goes. Let's flip that camera around again, excuse me. So let's widen that out. And we can see that from afar. Now I think we should have a go at express train speed perhaps. Let's get her on the straight here. Reckless. So we'll just bring that round once more, and then we'll give it a slightly more interesting route to play with for a moment. There we go. So let's run it onto the inside line. So we want number 7R. So that'll run her onto the inside line. So let's give that a go. So Let's keep an eye on her as she comes through the crossover there. And then we'll close that. Grab the correct controller. There she is. Let's just have a quick look alongside her. Looking quite smart. Nice shine on the top of the locomotive there. Let's have a quick look over the coaches. As I say, I can't remember the number of these coaches, so I'll pop that in the corner of the screen there, but I think these came along in 77 and were available for a number of years. So these ones all have the silver seal wheels. So I think we've got 3 composites, and we've finished off the rake here with a brake. So they are quite pretty things. Let's just pull one off and we'll have a look underneath one. We'll have a look at the wheels. So let's grab one of the decouplers again. We'll give that a go. We'll pull off the brake because it's at the end, I think. So let's see if we can get that in. And then we're going to be able to wheel that backwards. There we go. So let's just have a quick look at this. So this is one of the later variations of coaches that Hornby made, and they made lots of sorry, I'll get the words out right. There was a variation of these coaches made on these chassis and different regional style coaches. So I'll leave a quick picture in the corner of the screen there. So a whole rash of these appeared in 77, and they're quite lovely things. Silver seal wheels, I know a lot of people don't like those, but I think they're quite lovely. They make a great sound on the track. They do disintegrate at some point, or some of them do. I don't think all of them do. I think they suffer from quality issues, shall we say. And these ones have got the square section axles, and those bogies are just pushed in. So I think they've got a lot of flexibility from this group of models over the years. You can see a little bit of detail there. And we've got buffers moulded into it. So let's pop this one back on the track. And then we'll have another bit of a charge round again. Video has sort of taken a different shape perhaps to what I was at first imagining, but that's often how it goes. There we go. Lovely sound it makes on the rails, doesn't it? Must have been quite a difference when these came along. Compared to what had gone before, the Triang Hornby plastic wheels and pinpoint axles. So I think let's set this up so we can go on to the elevated section. Let's open to B and 1B. Yeah, point's still behaving itself. So let's take that through the point work there. Let's get close up to the locomotive as she moves away. There we have it. So we open up the elevated section. So we've got tail end and the drop off again, so we should be able to run right around. Let's give that some power. know the last few videos we've been running over the elevated section in the opposite direction, so let's give this a go. I don't think she'll have any problem with it. Got a magnesium. Let's just bring that to a stop there. So she's fully on the elevated section now, or the rise, shall we say, on the hill. So let's give that a little power, see how she does with that. No trouble at all. Not a hint of wheel slip. That sunshine breaking into the corner of the window there and then making the camera flare. There she goes, picking up a fair amount of speed. Let's tighten that up a bit. I have to say that feels good running that quickly along that straight there. Definitely big smiles to be had. Better calm it down before the bend there. And I think we'll bring that to a stop there. I think that's probably it for this week. Again, the video's been a bit bitty and so on, but with all the other things that are going on, work and so on at the moment, it's very busy. There isn't time to sit and devote many hours to putting the video together, so I'm sort of making them as they sort of unfold at the moment. But thanks again for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and seeing this beautiful model in action makes a lovely sound. And even though we refer to it as a basic model, it really is quite something. Thanks again. Goodbye now.